my mouth went dry with shock. My heart squeezed like a fist, and my whole body went cold as fear ripped through me like a knife. And suddenly it became so quiet. And then finally, into the ringing silence, he came clean and confessed the secret he'd been hiding from me for so long. Kelly, I thought I was ready. I thought I was committed to you. I thought I wanted to get married, but I just feel trapped. And I don't think it's anything you did, but I just don't know if I can be faithful forever. Not the way you need me to. Not the way I should be. And this will hurt, but honestly, I don't even know if I want to try. Now look, I'm no fool. Jeff is a very attractive man, and I knew he had options when I met him. And believe me, I'm not some little girl expecting my life to be a romantic fairy tale. And yeah, maybe he was a bit distracted these past months, a bit less interested in me than usual. But I thought that was normal. I thought our relationships were meant to get less passionate as time went on. But it turns out that tiny whispering voice in the back of my head was right all along. That night, I lay in our bed alone and sobbing uncontrollably, wanting more than anything for Jeff to comfort me, but knowing I'd claw his eyes out even if he walked in the room. My mind tortured me all night, constantly jumping from one agonizing thought to the next. And in the morning, I was such a mess that I couldn't even go to work. So I called my 3 best girlfriends for help, the women I knew I could trust with anything. And I felt so betrayed when I walked into the room and saw they brought a total stranger with them. How could they do that to me? I was just about to demand this strange woman get out when my friend Lucy gave me a gentle hug and said, "Kelly, this is Mirabelle, Donna's friend." And I know this seems odd, but Donna brought her along for a very good reason. So, take a deep breath and tell us what happened. Well, the floodgates opened, and I sobbed and cried as I told them everything. And I was shocked to discover that every single woman there could relate. "I don't know what it is about guys," said Lucy, "but it's like they all have an expiration date on their love or something. Like, no matter how much he adores you at first, sooner or later, it all just turns to ashes because eventually you're just not enough for him anymore." My college roommate Donna piped up and said, "Try being married for years." I don't feel like the love of his life anymore. I feel more like an afterthought and a maid. I mean, we finally had date night the other night, so I put on my sexiest underwear, even though it gives me a total wedgie, and I was so excited to actually get laid finally. But after all that, he barely looked at me. He told me he was too tired for sex, and then I walked in on him 20 minutes later, jerking off to Pornhub like I didn't even exist. "Yeah, well, at least you guys have a man," Linda squeaked in outrage. "I've been stuck in dating hell for 18 straight months, and I can't find a guy who wants a serious relationship, no matter what I do. Maybe we just have to come to terms with it, you guys. Maybe the whole idea of a soulmate is bull, and that way, when things eventually do go sour, at least it won't come as such a shock." But that's when things took a turn for the unbelievably rude, because that Mirabelle lady spoke up for the first time, and she wasn't having a hair of it. "All right, look, you puppies," she said. "I can't sit here and listen to this nonsense for one more single second. You need to let me explain to you exactly why you aren't getting what you want from men, and why there are a whole bunch of other women out there who get what they want. Women who have high-quality, embarrassingly romantic men breaking their backs trying to please them for an entire lifetime, while you guys sit around thinking that crumbs are going to be enough to keep you happy. This is the biggest pile of garbage I've ever heard in my life, because right now, it's like you all enjoy being taken advantage of by men." Well, I recoiled like I'd been slapped, and I wasn't the only one. I started to flash around the table, and I don't know what would have happened next if it hadn't been for Donna. "Mirabelle, hang on," she said with an embarrassed look. "The girls don't know who you are yet. I haven't told them." Then she turned to us apologetically. "You guys, I know she's kind of brusque, but you need to listen. Mirabelle is one of America's top dating coaches. She's here as a favor to me because I begged her to come. And she's a #1 bestseller on Amazon I'd had in months. But that's not all that happened, because that's when Lucy's voice dissolved into snuffles and giggles like some kind of crazy person. "Lucy, it's 4 a.m., I said. "Are you drunk?" "No, silly," she giggled. "I'm not drunk. What I am is engaged." I hung up the phone in a crazy swirl of emotions. Michael, Lucy's cold, aloof, word-acting boyfriend, had proposed? I'd thought Mirabelle's addiction words were likely nonsense, but if they worked for Lucy, could they work for me too? I called Jeff the next morning and asked if we could meet, and I didn't waste a single second. I felt adrenaline sparking in my veins and fear in my gut like I was jumping off the high dive. But I did it anyway. I took a deep breath and whispered Mirabelle's ticking clock phrase in his ear, just the way she'd outlined it on the napkin. And I will never forget what happened next. I looked up, and I saw the weirdest expression ever on his face. He'd sucked in some air like I just punched him in the gut, and then he collapsed right down to his knees like he was having a slow-motion heart attack. "I can't believe it," he choked, covering his face with his hands. "Oh my God, are you serious? No woman has ever said that to me before." Staring at my man down there on the floor, I didn't think things could get any weirder, but I was wrong. Because that's when this beautiful, masculine man, who had never shown weakness to me before, suddenly covered his face with his hands and burst into tears right there on the floor. "Kelly," he choked, "I want to say something right now, but I'm terrified I've already ruined everything. It's just what you said to me just now changes everything, and I know it sounds crazy, but it's like a blindfold's been lifted. I can see now that you've always been the one for me, and now it's finally time for me to step up and be the one for you." So, what happened next? Well, we just celebrated our 3rd wedding anniversary, and the man who was afraid to commit before is now the man who seems almost possessed by overwhelming feelings of love and devotion to me. So listen, I know you desperately want to know. What were the actual words he used that made him want you, made him fall for you, made him obsessed with truly committing to you and only you, the way you always dreamed of? Well, that's a great question, and here's the really great answer. You see, a couple months ago, my husband and I were snuggling on the couch, and we were giggling about how we got married, and Jeff was getting all embarrassed about that time he thought he wanted to sleep with other women. And then he hauled off and said something that gave me chills. "Kelly," he said, "these last few years with you have been like a dream come true. Just having you in my life feels so warm, so wonderful, so safe and right and magical that it's almost too good to be true. And honestly, that's why I can't stop freaking out, because if you hadn't said what you said that night, I would have ruined everything and never even realized it. So I have to know, how did you do it?" Well, I wanted to tell him, but I was petrified that he'd judge me for it. Finally, I just came clean and told him about the words Mirabelle had given me and how I'd used them on him to sneak into the back of his mind and make him fall for me harder than he'd ever fallen for any other woman in his life. And his reaction was the last thing I was expecting. He wrapped his arms around me and said, "Kelly, this isn't a bad thing. This is amazing.